Welcome to another episode of Eberhart Outdoors. In this video, I have deer all around me again. Now this was on a private piece, private 40, that I hunt with two other guys. Previous video, all day sit, that was on public. It's a 3-year-old 8-point for Michigan standards. That's a good one for this area, but it's not the one I'm after. You can't kill what doesn't exist. I have a good friend that's never shot anything over 123 in Michigan. And he's hunted 30 years here, all season, every year. He's been to Iowa 2 times, and on his very first sit on each hunt, after he scouted it and figured out where he wanted to hunt, his very first evening sit, both years, he shot a 158 and a 171. And in 30 years of hunting all season, he's killed 1 buck in Michigan that's 123. My son Chris hunted here for 20-some years. He shot 1 buck over 100 inches. It was 110 inches. 1 buck in 20-some years. And Chris was an excellent hunter, so was this other guy. And Chris went on an out-of-state deal for 6 weeks, and he shot 5 good bucks. And he lived out of his minivan, hunting public land, and he had a couple free permission properties that he got permission from over the phone. So for you guys that bloviate about 110 or 15 inch deer coming out of Michigan, it takes more skill to do that than it does to kill 150 incher out west. But just feel grateful that you get to do that, and that you don't have to hunt public land or free permission properties only in a tough to hunt state. And by the way, Chris, again, 1 buck, 110 inches, it was a little 10-point, and on his 3 trips to Wisconsin, he shot good bucks. The smallest one was 117. So 3 trips in Wisconsin on short-term 1-week hunts, he shot 3 bucks bigger than anything he shot in Michigan in 25 years. And he was hunting public land. So anyway, this one, it kind of concerns scent control. And I have deer around me during the course of the evening almost the whole time, to the point where I couldn't rattle. I wanted to do a couple rattle sequences when it started to get dark, and I couldn't because I always had deer within visual sight of me. 35 acres of this is in standing corn, and the other 5 is a little tiny skinny patch of timber along the back side of it. And there happens to be a pond on the bordering property that actually helps create a pinch point. This pond actually funnels deer. They have to come off of this standing cornfield that I'm on and through this narrow patch of timber. But I've got a big primary scrape next to around an autumn olive right next to my tree. It's 15 yards maybe. That patch of autumn olive has a scrape all the way around its perimeter. But they have to go around this pond, and then they can't go on the outside of this field to the west because that's a short weed field. So they're not going to go out there and be exposed. So they're coming either from the picked corn I'm on through this patch of timber going south to this other cornfield, to scent check for does, or they're coming from the other one to this one because there's security cover all the way through, and that lake acts as a pinch point. So instead of having a 1/4 mile of frontage on the one side of the cornfield, the south end of the cornfield is a 1/4 mile wide, they have to come through a patch that's about 100 to 110 yards wide. And the tree that I'm in is closer to the pond because the pond has a lot of security cover around it. So that's where the scrapes are, and that's why they're going through this particular small zone. Michigan has lots of deer. If you want to just kill a deer, Michigan's great. We just don't have a lot of mature bucks. And stats are 1 out of every 100 antlered bucks in Michigan are 3.5 years old or older. That's an old stat. I'm sure that's changed now that so many people are passing up deer, but that's still a stat that's pretty strong. You can correlate antler growth and deer size to crop yields. You get out in soil-rich Iowa, Illinois, Ohio, Indiana, eastern Kansas, eastern Nebraska, Wisconsin, western Wisconsin along the Mississippi River. There's lots of minerals in the soil, and their crop yields are almost 2 times what they are in states like Michigan, at least northern Michigan, where it's sandy soil. And it's those same minerals that grow crops that also grow bone and antler and deer size. So it's a real good correlation, because you look at the bucks in these mineral-rich soil states, and their antlers are just a lot bigger per same age group, and so are their bodies. Hope you enjoy this video. I kind of dig filming these things more than I like trying to kill something. It's actually kind of fun.
I got two bucks underneath me. They were just fighting a second ago. That's a mature doe and a year-and-a-half old buck that just crossed my entry road. Didn't even phase him. Over 50% of the bucks I've taken over the last 30 years have been at active primary scrape areas, just like this one. A lot of times they're at oak trees or apple trees, but other times they're on edges of standing corn butting up to other security cover, or on the edge of a swamp, or in a swamp, in an opening. This little guy just can't decide what to do. That's Mama. button buck rubbing on a branch. Well, I couldn't talk when he was going by, but that was a really nice 8-point. He just went in the pines. He came out of the pines, came by these scrapes, went out into the corn a little ways, ate a little bit, then turned around and came back and went back into the pine. That was a really nice buck. He stood right there at those scrapes for 15 seconds broadside, 12 yards, chip shot. But it's only about 100-inch 8-point. That's a different buck. He just popped out of the corner of the cornfield. This is one of the 2 free permission properties that I have. And that's the 3rd buck I've seen this evening. I think that's a big 6-point. That all-day sit was on public land in a big swamp. This here's a 40-acre piece, and about 35 of it's crop. There's a little bit of timber around the edges. This is sort of a unique location because you got mature pines, and then there's tall weeds on the other side of those pines. It's somebody else's property. And then there's another cornfield way over there, about a quarter of a mile. But right here you've got autumn olive bush. And there's scrapes all around the bottom of that autumn olive bush, all the way out to the edge of the corn. And then there's this cornfield. And there's a short wheat field on the one side of it. As I was saying before, I was so rudely interrupted by that dawn or two fawns coming out. But that wheat field is short, so they don't go through that in the daytime. At least mature deer don't. Got these pines behind me with tall weeds on the other side and another cornfield. What's unique is then you got a pine. You don't want to turn around and make any movements because that doe's still there. But basically what that does is this creates a pinch point. So any deer that are bedded in the corn that want to go through these pines to the other cornfield or vice versa, they kind of have to go through this narrow swatch, which is 30 yards to my one side, and it's probably 80 yards to the other. But right here where I'm at is where those scrapes are, by that autumn outlet. So this is the main spot where they're kind of running through this pinch. That's why there's so much activity right here. You always want to look for pinch points where traffic is concentrated. No matter what the terrain, there's always pinch points someplace. Right now that doe and two fawns are directly downwind of me. Looks like she's going to the pond to get a drink. I want to rattle and I wish these does would get out of here. That's the third doe I've seen in 5 fawns and 3 bucks.
If interested, the links to many of the podcasts I've been on, or for information about my 2-day whitetail workshops that take place in March and April, please visit my website at deer-john.net. Thank you for watching another episode of Eberhart Outdoors, and to receive notifications for future videos, please subscribe.